Before we begin, let's take a moment to appreciate something strange. Right now, as you watch this video, an invisible network of algorithms is quietly shaping your entire digital world. It decides what you see, what you hear, what you buy, what you click, and sometimes, even what you think about next. And yet, for all its influence, the intelligence behind it is far simpler than we imagine. It doesn't understand you. It doesn't understand itself. It simply executes patterns we have taught it. But somewhere in the background of the tech world, a different dream is forming. The dream of a machine that doesn't just react, but reasons. One that doesn't learn a task, but learns how to learn anything. An intelligence that mirrors the depth, flexibility, and curiosity of the human mind. That dream has a name: artificial general intelligence. And to understand it, we first need to understand what it is not. So today, let's break down the two kinds of AI shaping our world and our future: the narrow specialists we already rely on, and the general thinkers we have yet to meet. Let's begin. Imagine a world where a machine can cook your favorite meal, write your wedding speech, negotiate your salary, teach your children algebra, and still have a long philosophical debate with you about whether free will actually exists. That world sounds like science fiction. Yet it's also exactly the direction people imagine when they talk about artificial general intelligence (AGI). But here's the twist. The AI we actually use today, the one recommending our videos, filtering our email, generating our images, or even helping write this script, isn't that. In fact, almost all of it falls into a completely different category: narrow AI. And the gap between these two types of intelligence, narrow and general, is one of the most misunderstood ideas in modern technology. So today, let's untangle it. Not with formulas, not with jargon, but with the simplest question: what does it actually mean? For a machine to think to answer, that we need to start by understanding the kind of AI we already live with every day, and why it's both incredibly powerful and incredibly limited. Narrow AI, the specialist with superpowers. Think of narrow AI as a world-class specialist. Not a generalist, not an all-rounder, but a machine that is shockingly good at one thing, and usually only one thing. A chess AI doesn't know what chess means. A navigation AI doesn't understand what travel is. A facial recognition system can find your face in a crowd, but it doesn't understand what a person truly represents. It just finds patterns. Narrow AI is like a savant extraordinary in one domain, clueless in anything else. A self-driving car knows how to detect pedestrians, predict traffic, and stay centered in a lane. Ask it to write a poem about the meaning of the road. And it becomes silent, because it doesn't actually know anything. It just reacts. This is the essence of narrow AI. It's incredible at solving the problem it was trained to solve and almost useless outside that box. The GPS app that guides you across an unfamiliar city cannot explain the history of that city. The spam filter that protects your inbox cannot tell you what an email really feels like to read. The recommendation algorithm that knows you better than your friends doesn't actually know you at all. It is a system of inputs and outputs. A machine built from statistics, not understanding. That's not an insult, it's a description. Because even with this narrowness, these systems often outperform humans in their specialized domain. Chess AIs beat grandmasters. Medical AIs identify certain cancers earlier than doctors. Translation models convert language faster than any human polyglot. But no matter how good they get, narrow AIs are locked inside their single purpose. They don't transfer knowledge. They don't reason about the world. They don't generalize across tasks. They don't wake up one day and say, "I want to learn gardening." They're powerful tools, but they are still tools. General AI, the digital human mind. Now contrast this with the idea of artificial general intelligence (AGI). If narrow AI is a specialist, then AGI is something far more ambitious. A digital mind with the flexibility, adaptability, and expansiveness of human intelligence. You could explain a new task to it, any task, and it could figure out how to do it. Not because it was pre-programmed with instructions, but because it understands. It can connect concepts across domains. It can reason. It can learn from experience. And most importantly, it can generalize knowledge to brand new situations. Imagine you ask it to fix your car. You ask it to analyze climate policy. You ask it to design a completely new board game and explain the strategy behind it. A general AI doesn't freeze. It learns. Human intelligence works like this. When you were a kid, no one wrote code into your brain explaining how to climb a tree or solve a puzzle. You explored. You tried things. You failed. You improved. AGI wouldn't just store data. It would form concepts. It wouldn't just follow patterns. It would build models of the world. And instead of needing millions of training examples, it could learn from just a handful or even from pure reasoning. This is why AGI feels almost magical when people imagine it. It seems like a machine that is more than a tool. A machine that can handle ambiguity, uncertainty, new environments, and novel ideas. Not just doing tasks, but understanding tasks. Not just reacting, but reflecting. Not just calculating, but thinking. That's why AGI inspires both enormous excitement and enormous fear. Because for the first time in history, we're imagining something that can operate at a cognitive level comparable to our own, and maybe beyond. The gap between them and why it matters. At this point, the differences might sound obvious, but the real question is, why isn't AGI already here? After all, we have massive language models, huge data sets, unbelievable progress in the last 5 years. So what's missing? The truth is, narrow AI and AGI don't just live on different ends of a spectrum. They live in different realities. Narrow AI learns patterns. AGI learns principles. Narrow AI understands data. AGI would understand context. Narrow AI optimizes for a goal. AGI could choose a goal. Human intelligence isn't about knowing things, it's about understanding relationships between things. We understand that a falling glass leads to a potential mess, which leads to mom being angry, which leads to clean it up quickly. That chain of causality is something narrow AI cannot replicate. It knows the patterns of glass breaking, but not the meaning of it. The everyday analogy, chef versus human. Think of narrow AI as a Michelin-level chef who can cook one dish with perfect precision, a flawless bowl of ramen. But if you ask the chef to bake a cake, grill a steak, or try a new cuisine, the chef becomes confused. They only know one recipe, and they can never create a new one. AGI, by contrast, is like a curious human in a kitchen. You show them a dish once. They smell it, taste it, observe the texture. Next time they try to recreate it. Maybe it's not perfect, but they improve. They learn. This ability to adapt, extrapolate, and generalize is what separates intelligence from automation. Why we still only have narrow AI? You might wonder why building AGI is so hard. After all, humans are made of biological neurons, so why can't we just simulate them? Well, because the brain is unbelievably complex. 86 billion neurons, quadrillions of connections, consciousness, emotions, long-term reasoning, short-term improvisation, creativity, intuition. Even our best AI systems are still missing something fundamental. They don't understand the world at a deep level. They don't have lived experience. They don't learn the way children do by interacting, touching, failing, experimenting. They don't build concepts. They build correlations. And while correlations can be shockingly powerful, they're not enough to create a mind. Are we getting close to AGI? This is the controversial part. Some researchers say we're decades away. Others believe the first early forms are already emerging. Today's large language models are not AGI, but they behave in ways that blur the line. They can write essays, debug code, translate languages, summarize books, and even invent games. They show sparks of reasoning. They can explain their decisions. They can chain ideas together. So are they general AI? Probably not. But they may be the closest stepping stone humanity has ever built. If narrow AI is a calculator, then modern models might be something like a very smart intern, surprisingly capable, but still limited in unpredictable ways. The mystery isn't how far we've come, it's how far we still have to go. The consequences of AGI hope and fear. Now let's step into the future. If AGI arrives, what happens? Some people imagine the most optimistic scenario: technical breakthroughs for disease, solutions to climate change, instant education for everyone, a world where labor isn't forced but optional, a new renaissance powered by digital minds. Other people imagine the opposite: loss of control, unemployment at scale, ethical dilemmas, machines pursuing goals that don't align with human values. The classic sci-fi nightmare where intelligence outruns wisdom. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, unless we design these systems with care, transparency, and alignment. The danger of AGI isn't that it hates humans. It's that it might simply ignore us. Not evil, just indifferent. But the hope of AGI isn't that it replaces humanity. It's that it expands us. A partner in thought, not a rival. A tool that elevates us, not diminishes us. A mirror that helps us understand ourselves. The final question: what is intelligence? So here's the real paradox. The difference between narrow AI and general AI isn't a difference between weak and strong. It's a difference between specialization and understanding. Narrow AI is a master of tasks. AGI would be a master of meaning. Narrow AI imitates intelligence. AGI would embody it. Narrow AI is impressive. AGI would be transformative. But perhaps the most important question isn't, when will AGI arrive? It's, what do we want intelligence to be? Because intelligence isn't just about solving problems. It's about curiosity. It's about discovery. It's about seeing the world not just as it is, but as it can be. And maybe that's the lesson. For now, we live in a world of narrow AIs. Tools that help us navigate search, translate, filter, predict, optimize. They shape our lives quietly, invisibly, tirelessly. But one day, maybe soon, maybe not, a different kind of intelligence may emerge. Not programmed, not pre-trained, but growing, adapting, and learning. When that day comes, the world won't just change technologically. It will change philosophically. Because for the first time, intelligence will no longer be something exclusively human. The question is, are we ready for that moment? And maybe the answer is this: humanity has always evolved when we expanded our definition of what is possible. AGI is simply the next chapter, not the end of the story, but the beginning of something we've never seen before. Until then, the machines around us will stay brilliant but narrow, precise but limited, powerful but not yet wise. And that's okay, because sometimes the most important step toward a future breakthrough is simply understanding the present. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it's this: the intelligence we interact with today is powerful, efficient, and astonishing, but it's still narrow. It doesn't dream. It doesn't wonder. It doesn't question its place in the universe. It simply calculates. But the intelligence we imagine for tomorrow, the true general mind, would be something entirely different. It wouldn't just transform our technology. It would transform our definition of thought itself. Whether AGI arrives in a decade or a century, or not at all, the path toward it forces us to ask deeper questions. What is intelligence? What is consciousness? What does it mean to understand something, not just compute it? And what responsibilities come with creating a new kind of mind? The future of AI isn't just about machines becoming smarter. It's about us becoming wiser. Because the greatest shift won't come from what AGI can do, but from how we choose to use it and how we choose to live alongside it. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider joining me for more deep, clear, plain, explain explorations. Thanks for watching. And until next time, stay curious.